Hello, I'm Christopher Williams from Read Comics, They're Bad For You. Or if you're watching this on BitChute, Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about Disney again. This video was inspired by Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, who basically did a rundown of recent events that have happened and harmed Disney's reputation. I decided to do my own video, but decided to do it with my own spin. Now, yes, Disney's bad karma bites them in the end. What can I say? Most likely, down in Epcot Center, they're still having to deal with rabid cats. Yeah. We haven't heard much about that, huh? Well, much more about that. I imagine Disney's doing all it can to make sure that at least if you're going to be insulted in Disney, that you don't know that the animals are rabid. I mean, they're probably trying to do their best to cover that up. If they can't do anything about the assaults or people generally being rude to each other and endangering their children, they're at the very least trying to button everybody up so you don't realize that you're actually, you could actually get rabies. It's not surprising that Disney is probably trying to make sure no one or as few people as possible know about the outbreak of rabies in the wildcat population of Disneyland. But it still got out, and people are probably, listening to this, I imagine some people have decided not to go to Epcot Center and decided to go over to Disney World in California if they could afford it. Now, it is good that we're talking about cats here because this goes into my next point in my video, mainly about the MCU and how Disney has dredged up a bunch of bad karma for themselves by not listening to their fans and generally being mean to them. And one point against Disney is how they treated Nick Fury. How instead of a great origin for his missing eye, what I wanted was them to adapt the original Nick Fury's origin of how he lost his eye, how he was hurt in an assault, and how he made a choice if he were to go back into duty and action to save his men, or he could stay at camp and get it treated medically, which would have saved his eye. He decided to go out and protect his men, lead them into action, and it cost him his eye. But no, instead we get a stupid cat scratching out Nick Fury's eye. And I hate it. Why am I bringing this up in this video? Well, it's to make a point of how Disney, not only are their theme parks basically cursed with bad karma, but they've also brought this upon themselves with them rewriting Nick Fury from a tough as nails military man into in the Captain Marvel movie, into a simpering little girl who lost his eye to a cat. An alien cat that has tentacles, but a cat that was just put in the movie just to get the female audience to say, "Aww." Now, if they gave that cat rabies and made it foam at his mouth and generally made women scream in terror at it, I probably would have enjoyed him taking Nick Fury's eye more, especially if Nick Fury shot it in the head, killing it. But no, we got what we got. This just proves that Disney has gotten too big for its britches and doesn't care about its fans anymore. Now we're going to talk over to the main event. Remember that fight at Disney World? Well, guess what? The assailant in that brawl is actually being charged by the police. One Avery Desmond Edwin Robinson has been charged with 5 felony counts as well as 9 misdemeanor counts. These include endangering his child as well as 3 other children, threats to kill members of his own family, including his sister, brother-in-law, and girlfriend. And get this, after he was expelled from the park, he even attempted to assault someone, an employee of Disney World, with his car. He nearly ran the guy over. So he's also having to deal with 1 count of domestic battery, 1 felony to cause hurt. I'm assuming that has to do with him trying to run someone over with his car. This Avery Desmond is one piece of work. The rest of his family, or at least other members of his family, are also being charged. His sister, Andrea Nicole Robinson, is being charged with 5 misdemeanor counts, 4 for attacking Avery and his girlfriend, and 1 misdemeanor count for just attacking Avery's girlfriend alone. Her husband, Damon Pegpetty, is being charged with 1 misdemeanor count of assaulting Avery's girlfriend. Now, I'm not sure if he punched her in the face or not, but what I am sure of is all 3 of them are facing jail time. Avery looks at he's going to be facing possibly a maximum of 7 years and 4 months in jail. The others get lighter sentences. In other news, a 23-year-old Chicago woman was kicked out of Disney World when she punched a Disney employee in the face. This happened after her Fast Pass would not work on a ride. The ride was Tower of Terror. When this happened, the employee said that she got irate. Her and her family started insulting her. They took out their cameras and taped as the woman punched her in the face. After that, they were kicked out of Disney World. And this all happened on July 13th. Oh yeah, she also says the woman verbally assaulted her. Now in another case, a mother recently, or rather back in last September, states that she hates millennials and she thinks they're all idiots. Furthermore, she says anyone who goes to Disney World or Disneyland without kids should not be allowed in there. And she also further said that she should be able to go through any line because she has to deal with her terrible children, and there should be a rule for all families with children to be allowed to go on rides first. In other news, Disney's Galaxy Edge is of course empty. Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers has been there recently. He says it's not empty. There are people there, but there are not that many. Disney World should not be not that many. It should always be packed, especially in the middle of summer during July. And this is bad and goes to my point here. I decided to add things about how Captain Marvel and how the MCU in this video was going soy. As another fact, to differentiate it from other videos like this and say, yes, Disney is making a bunch of mistakes and their attitude of how they treat their customers is not that great either. So I have to say, with Disneyland and Disney World not having that many people attending this year is part of their bad karma that they've raked up recently, along with bad business practices that allowed an outbreak of rabies to, spread through the wildcat population of Epcot Center, and how they're basically treating fans and calling them racist if they dislike what they're doing with Captain Marvel, and forcing her down their throats and trying to spread SJW politics and through the rest of the MCU. All of this is bad. So it's no wonder that Disney's Galaxy Edge is basically empty. And including with what happened with the assaults and battery and people generally acting all insane and violent at Disney World and Disneyland, what do you expect? You've allowed alcohol in there. Disney didn't want alcohol in there to prevent stuff like this from happening. So you have yourself to blame for this, Disney. And all I can say is they deserve it. Now, if you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me at Read Comics They're Bad For You on YouTube and Comic Freak at BitChute. Hit that bell for notifications and hit that like button and leave some comments down below. And keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.